in the house today, because you know we got my man Raheem L. And we got his beautiful wife, Christine L. They are in the building, and they're going to talk to you today, and we're going to talk about being a power couple in this world that we are in today. But before we go there, I got a couple of things I'm going to say to you. These some things you might know. These some things you need to know. We are operating in 5 states: South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Maryland, and New Jersey. Don't get the game twisted, twist the game. Universal Benefits, UBI, is a family-owned, operated by the Wilson family, and is the 3rd fastest growing final expense agency with Lincoln Heritage Insurance Company. You heard what I said. That's right. Don't get it twisted, twist the game. It was founded in 1981 by Dr. Ted Wilson Sr. I said Dr. Ted Wilson Sr. UBI formed a partnership with Lincoln Heritage in 1989. Since that partnership, the agency has been the leader in final expense sales and has flourished across the Southeast and East Coast and continues to grow. I said continue to grow. Don't get the game twisted. I know you hear those sounds. I know you hear those sirens, because that means we're growing, we're growing, we're growing. You hear those sirens? I thought you did. Now, here we go. Our goals and values have never changed. We strive to employ the finest men and women to represent our company's ideals, ensuring education and quality service and an affordable price in our community. And matter of fact, me and my man Raheem were talking this morning, and we were talking about our community, and that's why we're here, and we're here to help. So don't get the game twisted again. Like I said, twist the game. Lincoln Heritage, what did Lincoln Heritage do in 2017? Can anybody answer that question? Don't worry, I'll answer it for you. We did $160 million. That's right, folks. I said $160 million. But guess what? Who was coming on strong and holding it down? You already know who it was. UBI. UBI did their thing with $25 million, folks. I said $25 million. And we are growing, and let's keep it moving. And don't you get the game twisted, twist the game, because we moving so fast. Oh, my God. We are being led by who? Mr. and Mrs. What? Gail and Cynthia Hawkins. Oh, my God. Let me say that again. We are being led by who? Mr. and Mrs. Gail and Cynthia Hawkins. Now, you talking about a power couple, folks? You talking about a power couple, folks? That's your power couple, folks. And guess what? That's that topic today. This is going to be lovely. Last month, they did what? $833,000. If I had the button to push the bomb, I would have did it. But since I ain't had it, I had to do it. So we're going to keep this moving. But UBI held that down to $1.8 million. Oh, my God. We're growing, folks. We're growing, and we're growing fast. Don't get the game twisted, like I said. And the Talented 10, what was Talented 10 do? We did $45,000 last month, and we are still growing. But don't get this and understand this. What UBI has over 1,200 agents, and out of that, 250 out of 100,000 is making up. Over 1,200 agents, and out of that, you got over 250 with over 100,000. Oh, boy, making over 100,000. That's a lot of money. And we also got them going up to $1.5 million. That's income, folks. That's income, so don't get it twisted, because we are moving and we're moving fast. And last year, the Hawks did over $9.1 million. Oh, my God. $9.1 million. And yes, Lord, we are looking to crack that 1 million this month, folks. Will you be a part of that? Will it be a part of you? I'm sure you will, because we are looking to hire what? Hawkins Investment Group is looking to hire 50 agents, and guess what? UBI is looking to hire 100 agents, and then that 100 agents, let me tell you what they're going to do with that. We're going to $2.5 million. That's right, I said $2.5 million. And the Talented 10, you know we're looking to put in 20 more agents, because we're going straight to 100,000, folks. We're going straight to 100,000, folks, and we're looking to take you with us to that 100,000. So don't get the game twisted. And I always say don't get it twisted. I tell you to twist the game, because that's what it's about. This is a family-owned business, and you know who our CEO of this is. We have Mr. Ted Jr. Wilson. You know we have him in the building as well, and we have his sister, and that's Mr. Wilson's daughter. We have Aaron. She's the operations manager. So we are constantly building, folks. We are building. Now listen up. This is what's going down. I want everybody to do this before I even go any further. Take out your pens. Take out your pads. Take out your iPad. And I want you to take some notes, because what's about to happen today is going to be remarkable, folks. It's going to be remarkable. Promise you that. Now, what we're going to have tonight, don't forget we have a webinar. That webinar will start at 8:27 p.m. That webinar is good for Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night. You need to be on that webinar. Your team needs to be on that webinar. Anybody that's interested in being in our business needs to be on that webinar. It will answer all the questions, what, when, where, and how we're doing it. So you need to be on that. And don't forget about Monday. Wait. We got our calls coming in on Monday. Don't you forget, you got your call with, that's right, Mr. Dr. Ted Wilson Sr. That starts at 9 o'clock. You'll be on that call and you'll learn a lot. We got the HIG, Hawkins Investment Group. We have a conference call that's at 9:27. You need to be on that call, folks. If you want to learn what everybody did last week and what they're going to do this week, what the goals are, you need to be on that call. And don't forget, on Tuesday, we have our leadership call. If you want to build a team, a very strong team, hey, you might even want to think about building a power couple team. That's right. And you're going to learn what's going on with this today. So don't forget to be on that call. And don't forget that we got a 7 p.m. call with my man Quincy Harris for Occidental. If you want to build that, you need to be on that call as well. And don't forget, on Wednesday, we had the Spurgeon group. That's right. If you want to be trained like I want to be trained, I'm always on those calls. You need to be on that call. On Wednesday, we have that call at 8:30 a.m. And oh, my God, like I was saying before, guns led by who? We led by Corey Hawkins and my man Chris Floyd. They got the young guns. The ages are between the ages of 18 and 29. I think they got something that slipped in that's about 30 right now, but I don't call them old. I call them ready, and that's what's going on. And it starts at 8:15, and if you want to be on point, be there on 8:10. That's right. So that's what's going on. Don't forget about the boot camp we got coming up, fam. We got a boot camp coming up. We just did a boot camp from August 14th, 15th, and 16th. We got a bunch of graduates that came out of those classes. I know my man Leo came from out of Mount Clair. I know he did his thing. I know my man David Hunter, he came out of that crowd too. So we are moving, and we're moving fast. Our next boot camp will be on the second week of September. So don't get that one and don't lose that one. Make sure you're there for that. And also, we also have another major meeting that's going to be coming up next Wednesday on the 22nd. Well, this Wednesday on the 22nd. That's with the Talent of 10. You want to be there in that meeting. You want to have, we have an open house. You want to bring your team. You want to bring everybody that's thinking about going with us. If you from another state, that's okay. Have your people come see me. Tell me that they coming with you, and I got them. So you make sure they're there at 33 Wood Avenue South. And that's Suite 600. That's right. We standing up where you can see the sky. Suite 600 in Island, New Jersey. That's 33 Wood Avenue South and Suite 600 in Island. That's right. And guess what, folks? If you really want to know how we do things, where you really need to be, you need to buckle up, folks. You need to get this right. You hear the sirens because it's coming down. You need to be at the Legacy. That's October the 5th through the 6th. That's going to be in Columbia, South Carolina. You need to be at the Legacy. That's October 5th. Listen up, tables are selling out fast. You need to have your team on there. We want to see your whole team on there. You need to be in the place. And don't forget, folks, guess what else coming up? That's right. For those who want to go to Chile, my man Julian says it much better than I do, but I said Chile. If you want to go to Chile, you can still make it to Chile. Those that still came in up to this month can still qualify. All you need is $12,005 in AP. Keep doing that, and you got that, and we're going to take that trip in 2019, and guess what? When you're on that trip, you're going to get a chance to meet some powerful people like my brother, Rob L. and his beautiful wife, Christine L. You're going to get a chance to meet them because they will be on that trip. They will be able to see you, talk to you, shake your hand, because I know most of the time you see them on the YouTube videos. You see them on the National Bulletin. You see them taking trips. You see them with their family. You might even see them riding a motorcycle or on a boat, because that's how they get down. They don't play around. But if you make this trip, you'll get a chance to see them at this trip in Chile. So let me give you a little bit of information about who we got coming on today, folks. Oh, my God, folks, we got some powerful people. And I have the utmost respect for these two. We got my man, Raheem. And like I said, he got his beautiful wife, Christy. And guess what? Oh, my God. Together, we will stand. Together, they got at least 10 years in. And I said at least 10 years in. One got 4, one got 6. And you'll never know which one got what, because they got 10, because they are a power couple. That's right. They are a power couple. They are God-fearing. They put God first. And as a matter of fact, the brother and I was talking. The first thing we started talking about was God. I can relate to him. He can relate to me. I'm sure he can relate to you. He also has a group called the NBA, and that does not stand for basketball. That stands for never being broke again. And don't get the game twisted, twist the game. His wife has her own team too. That's right. She has her own team too. And they are moving really, really, really fast. Also, they are phenomenal on YouTube. They have over 1.6 million subscribers. I said 1.6 million subscribers checking out how to learn what to do in these fields as a power couple. So this is what you need to learn. We getting ready to bring them on. They straight from out of Pittsburgh. That's right. They straight from out of Pittsburgh. I told them, I said, look, I ain't going to lie. I'm from Jersey, and I'm a Dallas Cowboy, and I know y'all the Pittsburgh. Y'all the Killer Bees, but I'm the Dallas. But I got to introduce them right. They are the Killer Bees. They going to be coming in real strong. They've been married for over 8 years. Oh, my God, they have 6 children, 6 beautiful children. And guess what? 3 boys, 3 girls. Somehow they made it even, and that's what's going down. But without further ado, what I got to tell you about these people, they can be come in this building, and they're going to bring it in. I want to introduce to you my man, Raheem L. and his beautiful wife, Christine L. Please press star 6 and bring it on in, please.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, money, money, money.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Hey, hey, good afternoon, everybody. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I think you was trying to say something, Doc. Go ahead.
No, I was saying welcome. I'm so happy that you both came in. And I just want to say thank you again for taking the time out on this day and having brunch with us. I know it is a family day, and you decided to spend your family with our family, man, and I just want to say thank you, man. Just do what you do. Like I said, we're talking about being a power couple, and whatever you want to bring in with that, let us know. I'm going to mute my phone. If you have anybody that want to have any questions after you guys are done, they will star 6 in and answer any questions, but you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Man, I thank you so much, D. I really, 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 really am honored for this invitation. There is no way that I would have declined this offer, man. I am happy to be here, as they say, and coming to America, if I'm not mistaken. I'm definitely happy to be here. And it's amazing, brother, your energy. Guys, who are on the line, if you're listening, I just have to acknowledge Brother Dion's energy. Last week was my first week on these calls, and I'm like, how in the world have I been missing these calls? You guys are truly, truly blessed. My first 5 seconds of listening to him, I'm like, who in the heck is this? What is he smoking? What is he drinking? And the more and more I listened, I said, man, this brother he's serious, he's committed, he's dedicated to his team. And to not be a part of what he got going on, one would be crazy. Can you still hear me? Okay. So Dion, thank you. Okay, something just happened goofy in my ear. It was me. It's all good. But yeah, man, I'm grateful for the invite. The only thing that's funny though is since last week I've been mimicking you and trying to get you know, how you talk down, Pat. So me and Christy are now walking around the house. Chris, say it one more time, man. I got to get it. Say Christine's name one more time. How did you introduce her? Yeah. So I'm walking around the house now. I told her, I said, babe, this is how we're going to address each other now. So I'm going to be sitting in the room across from you. Christine, what's for dinner? You know, I appreciate your energy, man. It's refreshing. Don't you? Hey. Yes, sir. Other than improving, man, do not change. Do not change a bit. But I got my wife. We sitting here out back, man. So if it sounds like Jurassic Park, just let me know. We got bird feeders and water falling and different things like that. So how is the background all right?
Everything is good, beloved. I can hear you. Go ahead, Merciful. We can hear you. Go ahead. Let it go.
Did you say Merciful? Wow. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. His brother he did his research, huh?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, man, once again. I'm going to, just real quick, my wife is here, and how we're going to do this is I will start off, and she'll come in, and then we'll both wrap up together. Hopefully this morning you guys, as he mentioned, have you pulled over on the side of the road. If unless you got a Tesla like Jessica, shout out this morning or this afternoon to Jessica Parker. I'm sure she's on the line, and good afternoon to you, dear, and hope all is well with you. You guys are blessed to have her as well. Yeah, Chrissy and I will both share this call. And so this morning, I'll pause just briefly, and she could come on, baby, just say good morning to these people and get off the phone so I can talk.
All right. Hey, guys. So it is definitely such an honor to be able to join this call. All right. Go ahead, babe.
No, just keep, Okay. All right, I'll go from there. Y'all got to pray for us. I'm working with this woman here. As he said, I've been married to her for 80 years. Is it 80, baby? Mm-hmm. Something like that. But, yeah, she'll be coming on in a second. So I wanted to first and foremost give a huge shout-out to you guys at UBI, man. You guys are absolutely killing it. You guys are a part of an awesome organization. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. And those of you who are on the line right now, I'm just assuming that you know. Mr. and Mrs. Hawkins, I don't think that we've met, and I really don't think that we've met, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. So when we're down in Chile, as Dion said, because I will definitely be in the building. I already got my bags packed. Chrissy got her bags packed. Whenever we get there, please, let's rub some shoulders. I would love to sit and talk with you guys, and I'm sure we can exchange a wealth of information. And I'm really looking forward to that day where we meet. The Talented 10, man, you guys have an amazing guy in this Dion Freeman, man. Let me just tell you, the energy that he's putting out to do these calls is not easy. I have a team, and to be this consistent with this energy, this enthusiasm, the material, the strategizing, the planning, it's not easy. It's not easy. So hopefully you guys appreciate him as much as I do this morning. And I'm not sure if Brad Jennings is on the line, but my brother, whoa. I was on the call, like I said, last week, and I know Brad. I'm a part of Brad's organization. I've been to Brad's house a million times. I don't even need my GPS no more to get to his house. And I've heard him talk. I'm familiar with the story. The only word that I could put on last week's call was anointed. That call was anointed. If you didn't hear it, get a replay. Call Brad, ask him if he could give you the story again, and hope it's the same, carries the same weight that it did on last Sunday, bro. But if you're listening, I love you, B, and great job, man. But with that, I'll start the call. The reason that I want to start the call today, guys, is because it was me who was first introduced into this opportunity to come on board with Lincoln Heritage. I won't go too much into my story because who cares at the end of the day about one story? It's what can you do for me, right? And so I do understand that, but we don't know each other. So just giving you a little bit of background so you can understand who you're listening to, who's talking, and hopefully something that I say in my introduction would qualify me is somebody who you could take some advice from, somebody who has maybe had some similar experiences with yourself, or from my results would give me a little bit of credit. All right. So I've been in the business now for about 4.5 years. How I was introduced to this opportunity was by Mr. Brian Obey, who was one of the top MGAs in the Miles Group, one of the top MGAs in the country. Averages somewhere between $250,000, $300-something thousand a month in production. Has an awesome team, and he and I knew each other from a previous business. I used to be a Kirby distributor. There's probably some Kirby guys on the phone right now, but if anybody's not familiar, just really quick, that is a vacuum that costs almost as much as a Lamborghini. Most people who buy them finance them. And I, like literally, you make payments on it. It's kind of crazy to me in hindsight that, people, it's a good vacuum, though. Don't get me wrong. I did that for almost 20 years. I had my own office for about 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. Started out as a dealer, just an agent, if you will, and worked my way up to where, again, I had my own organization, my own team, telemarketers, an office space, the whole nine. And that is where I hone my skills in terms of what helps me here. But different in that business, my sale wasn't necessarily just dependent upon my ability to sell, to present, and to demonstrate. My income was dependent upon not only those things, but it was also dependent upon somebody's credit worthiness. So people who were buying these units, they had to finance them. And so therein lied a little bit of frustration that would be with me for that whole almost 20 years because, I'm sitting there, I'm with Dion's next door neighbor, let's just say, and, they love me, they love the equipment. But now we do the credit application, and I just found out that I wasted so much time, which is one of the things that really drew me to this opportunity because of the fact that it's 95, 99, I'll say 100%. The only people that we can't cover is HIV, AIDS. HIV, AIDS, somebody that's in a hospital care facility. We know all of that, right? So now, all I had to do was get a good presentation together. There was a good product, and the credit doesn't matter. In this case, it would be someone's health, right? So not credit health, but their actual physical health. And so that drew me to the business. But I didn't go from Kirby to this. Dion and I were talking this morning, and I was telling him about another thing, and I'm sorry, I was getting text messages. Another thing that I did, I ran a landscaping company for about 8 years. I owned it, operated it, and the key word in there is operated, because it wasn't until like the last year of that 8 where I was able to administrate that thing. All the way up to that point, I was working every day, right there beside the people who were helping me. And I'm at the gym one day, and I bumped into Brian Obey. And Brian Obey I knew as a kid. Actually, literally, he was 19 years old. I actually hired him, and I trained him to sell Kirby's. And he was absolutely horrible. He couldn't sell anything. He probably sold, I don't know, man. He was really bad. It's kind of funny today. But he did that for a little while, and he moved on, never saw him again. And one day I just happened to be at the gym, and here he was. And success leaves clues. I think we can all agree, right? And when you're looking at somebody, when you're talking to somebody, when you're face to face with somebody and they're broke, usually, right? And you could also tell if they're doing good, usually, right? And he looked amazing, like he was in shape. And it was just gym clothes, gym shoes, gym clothes, but he looked like he was doing okay. We got to talking, catching up, and he's like, what are you doing? And I told him about my landscaping business. And he told me that, I said, what are you doing? And he said, man, it's funny that you asked me, man. I'm doing really good. I'm a part of the Miles Group, Lincoln Heritage. I'm like, who the heck are they? What is that all about? You know, and he said, it's funny that you asked, funny that I run into you. I said, why is that? He said, I'm just coming from picking up my new car. You got to see it. And I'm all for it, man. Congratulations. I can't wait to go see your car. So I changed real quick and we go out to the parking lot and I'm expecting to see, you know, a nice new Impala, Cadillac, or, you know, it just, what he had to show me was not what I was expecting. But he had just brought a brand new Mercedes CLS 550. I said, what did you just say you was doing again? What group was who you with? And he cracked up and he said, man, I told you I'm with the Miles Group, I'm with Lincoln Heritage, and we're doing this. And, oh, man, you got to see it, man, we're hiring. So the recruiting process began. And it told me that every Friday they would meet out at Troy's house. And this is something that started what we now have today is our first Friday where we go to Dave & Buster's and, you know, it's this big meet and greet thing that we do here that I'm sure you guys may do something similar. And I go to Troy's house and it was hilarious because I'm in Pittsburgh, so we get a lot of snow. It snowed that day. And, babe, I got to save some time for you.
Okay.
Oh, man. All right. Let me try to hurry this up. So I go to Troy's house, and it snowed that day, and Brian's car was rear-wheel drive. So this beautiful car, they had to push it up the hill because Brian got stuck. I mean, it's just hilarious. But I go to Troy's house, and I hear of all these great things going on with Lincoln Heritage. I wasn't quite ready. The seed was planted. I wasn't quite ready. I had a pride thing. And if anybody knows Troy, he doesn't bite his tongue. And one of the things he said to me, like the truck that I bought, I won't get into the story how I started the landscaping business, but it was basically done on a shoestring budget, right? And so I got the little piece of truck I could get at the time, right? And that's the truck he saw. And this truck, when you would drive it, Dion, like it would backfire. And I remember one time I'm riding through one of the quote, hoods of Pittsburgh, and all I kept saying to my son, he was the passenger, I'm like, man, I hope this, because there's all these guys on the corner, you know, the street pharmacists, right? And I said, please don't let this daggone car backfire around these dudes because they're going to think we were shooting at them. And as soon as I said it, pow, the car backfired, the guys flew into the bushes. And so this is the truck that Troy saw, and he just got on that truck so bad, like, man, you need to come over here. You need to get a green shirt, get rid of that daggone piece of crap truck. And my ego stepped in and was like, man, you don't know who you talking to. Like, you don't know who I am. You don't know what I'm about to do with this business. And that's how I left this house. And by the grace of God, that landscaping business, it took off. I was doing fine, right? So years later, I run into a friend of mine, Sean Hall, who was in the business, and he's talking to me. And he started talking to me about the pay through and how the pay works, the trips and different things like that. And I said, okay, I'm interested. I want to come on board with the company. But there were some things that I had to work on in order to get into the business, some doors that I had to close and things that I had to address. So I started talking to my wife. Was you my girlfriend at the time? Was we married?
I was your girlfriend.
I should have known better then. So she wasn't listening. She was not listening at all. Like, I don't want to do sales. I don't want to do sales, and that's her story. And I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. So I'm going to pause, and I'm going to allow her to tell her story. Then I'll be back, and then I'll finish up with where I've been, what I've been able to accomplish through the business. And I'm going to drop a few things on you that will, I think, definitely change your direction in the field, definitely change the direction that you're headed. You will, if you implement what I go over, if time will allow. Next week, I guarantee you that you will have one of your best weeks in the business. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce my beautiful wife, and I'm going to go ahead and mute out. Come on, baby. What you got?
Right. Well, good job, baby. Good job. Again, guys, good afternoon. Thank you for having me on the call. He did a phenomenal job in thanking you guys. So we would just jump right into my story. And my God, he's right. In the beginning, I had two other businesses that I was running. My background, I am from corporate America. I worked 14 years at Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is a medical insurance company. And I was in management. I was laid off. So at that point, I really did not want to work for anyone else ever. I had a corner office. I loved my job at the time, outside of the fact that, at the latter part of my years with Highmark, my sister ended up having a stroke. And when I really needed to take the family leave time, I was not approved for family leave because it was my sister. That rubbed me the wrong way. Thank God, a few months later, I actually ended up getting laid off, and it just was a blessing in disguise. But again, after that, I did not want to work for anyone else. So fast forward, obviously I did end up having to work at another company just for health reasons. And if you guys are subscribers to my YouTube channel, that story is on there. You can listen to that. I won't go into that because we will go past our time here today. However, not wanting to work Lincoln Heritage because I thought this was a job, right? I already was running a credit repair company, and I was doing mobile stylist. I was a mobile stylist as well. I did not want to do anything else. Again, we were not married at the time. We were in a relationship, and my story on that was I did not want him to be my boss, although he was not in the business, because of the fact that he was the one telling me about this opportunity, and it was his best friend. I saw that as a negative, and I did not want to add anything else to our relationship. So fast forward, tons of arguments throughout that year. I think it was like a year and a half, I want to say, of him coming, and bringing this back up. Sean kept coming to the house with his deposits and showing us his money. And I was not, and I'm still not one that is moved by big cars, rings, things like that. That doesn't move me. How I ended up with Lincoln, how I decided to go ahead and take this test is I had a dream. And in this dream, I wrote a little old white lady a policy. And the feeling that I had when I woke up of just really blessing somebody with life insurance. It was the craziest thing ever. And I didn't tell my husband at the time, well, my boyfriend at the time, I didn't tell him that I had this dream, but I just started to study. He had already had, the insurance booklet at the house, and I was online, and I figured I would just do it without saying anything because I didn't want that pressure. And one day he came back like, I'm going to try one more time to talk to this chick about this business. And at that time we were engaged. And I'm just smiling. And he's like, what are you smiling about? I'm like, well, I already started to study. And he hit the roof. He's like, oh my God, what made you change your mind? I'm like, yeah, I had a dream. He's like, you and these dreams. But nonetheless, I had a dream, and that's how I came in. Now, I was not sold on the business. I didn't do, a ton of the research up front. I still was doing my credit repair. I still was doing the mobile stylist. And what that is basically, I had a blog out, and individuals would call me that wanted to get their hair done that could not leave their home. And I was always one that felt that if somebody looked good, they felt good. And if they felt good, then they treated everybody else better, right? So that was just one of those things of me being able to give back to the community because my rates were super cheap. Now, the first year, I literally, just took some names out of my girlfriend's telephone and started just calling names out of her phone here and there. My husband was in a motorcycle group, and every other weekend when we didn't have kids, we would hit the road. We would do things with the biker club or, things on our own. And I literally used Lincoln Heritage money for our hitting the road. The end of 2012, the beginning of 2013, I received a 1099 for $40,000. I couldn't believe it. I remember sitting at the table and I told Raheem, I'm like, can you believe this? I made $40,000. Like, we blew $40,000 on the road. $40,000. He's like, there's no way. You didn't work ever. There's no way you made $40,000. So he's looking at the paperwork. We're like, this is crazy. And he's like, I can't wait to get in. You know, you're playing with this opportunity. Now back up, the 13 years that I worked at Highmark, I was at 56,000. So I looked at this 40 and I said, okay, let me stop doing hair and I'll do a little bit more with this Lincoln thing. And that's what I did. So I didn't do much more, but I did a little bit more. Now, back in 2013, 2014, we did not have all the trainings. We didn't have the websites that we have now. It was in the beginning of the Miles Group. So I had to use YouTube to learn a lot that helped me to grow in that 2013. End of 2013, I was at 58,000. I was sold. At this point, I'm like, okay, Raheem, you're right. I'm wrong. I don't like to be wrong, but I made 58,000. And mind you, I did not know anything about the lead program at this time. I didn't know about the inserts at this time. I didn't know too much of anything, but I saw that this 1099 was at $58,000, more than what I spent 13 years grinding and stressing and, you know, not being able to really be there for my family. And here I make 58,000. I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to learn this business. I'm ready to see what this is about. I'm ready to go. So that year, I really was just running, right? I was running, came into 2014. My sister died. My car had a boot on it because I wasn't paying attention to these little tickets, didn't realize that they could put a boot on my car. The time that I decided I wanted to be in management, the day after my sister died was when we were to board the flight to go to Florida for the manager and training retreat. All of this stuff was going on, all at that moment, at that time when I decided that this is a wonderful opportunity. I'm 100% in. This is what I want to do. It was like the bottom just fell off. It just fell off. And I had to make a decision, you know, and that's where a lot of agents quit right at that point, right at the part where it's like, are you serious? Like you're consistently getting hit over and over, and you don't understand why. You don't know, you know, you're like, okay, everybody's making this money. Why am I not making the money? And then on top of that, I got a termination letter because of my persistency was down, because all I knew to do was go out and write a policy. We had 1 million reports as we do today, but in the agency that I was in, my upline he wasn't a manager at that point, not really. He just ran. He was a top producer. All he did was run and work. And he said, if you wrote more business, you wouldn't have to worry about the business that fell off. Obviously, today we all know that that's not the case. You need to work your back end. You need to understand the persistency, how that works, understand to make sure that you're writing policies that people can afford and not just selling an individual. I had to learn all of that in 1 year and really stick. I really had to stick and stay. I was spending hours and hours and hours on YouTube, hours on Google, researching funerals, the process of a funeral, the process of the cremation. I had applied for multiple life insurance policies with other companies just so that I can get the policy and so I could read it and understand what other companies was giving. So I really had to understand what we had. I had to understand what people go through. And when my sister died, it really threw me into the emotional side of understanding what a loved one goes through. So I was able to use that, and I still use that when I'm in the field and I'm talking to clients. What happened? You know, I was always the one, the go-to, if you will. I always had the answers, always was the one dealing with business, always made the phone calls, always dealt with, you know, when we had to go to court for different things, I was that one. But when my sister died, I went blank. I completely went blank. And I thank God that we did have Lincoln, because we called the FCGS and they did their job. And I was able to be, you know, the blonde, right, at that moment. And they saved my mom $3,600. And that was a reality check. This is why I'm here. being able to see that I am truly helping individuals and blessing others, and I'm doing this on a customer service side, not sales. I had to trick myself into this isn't sales, this is customer service for a while. But then when that happened, I really saw that this really is customer service. I am taking care of my clients. I'm taking care of the family members. So I'm not just blessing the one person I'm sitting with. I'm blessing the family, and they don't even know it. So that is what pushed me in 2014. My sister died on January 15th, and I just went ham that year. I did everything that I thought I could never do, everything that I said I would never do, random door knocking. We call that neighborhood enrolling. I was printing out the flyers, putting them on everybody's cars, had my kids coming out with me. We're putting them on doors. We went to the zoo, and there's 1 million cars at the zoo. We went to the amusement park here, tons of cars. We just went crazy. And do not do that, guys, because, yes, I did get a phone call from Lincoln Heritage about not putting your flyers on vehicles at the zoo, because that is private property. You're not allowed to do that. So, well, you can do it. I got a lot of sales from it, but don't do that. But I just went crazy with it and reaped the benefits. I ended that year at 142,000. So the year before was only 58, and I jumped to 142. And then the next year I just repeated that. I hired an appointment setter. I got serious with the business, bought a calendar. And that year that I made the 142 and I was awarded my 6-figure income ring, Raheem was there, of course. He was always supporting. He was so happy when I finally started going to work. Still feels that I could do more, and we're working on that. He came into the business that November. So it was only maybe 3 weeks that he was in the business where I received my income ring. And it was exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to have my pay through set up at a certain level. I wanted to have my agency, which I accomplished that. And I wanted to pretty much know what I was doing before he came in, because I knew once he came into this business, I was going to have to kind of take a back seat, because this is his thing, and there's no way that now, although I love it, I love sitting with the families, and I love writing the policies, and I love talking to the seniors and loving on them. I always tell them when I knock on the door, I'm just here to love on you. I love that, but my gift is in the admin role. He's been trying to get me in this role for the last 2 years now, I want to say, to move more into doing that. And I've been fighting it because now I love the clients. I love being out. I love all of it. But if I'm honest, when I'm in the field and I get the phone call, the text message from my agent, I get the email from the agents, whoever, and they're asking for a document. They're asking about their taxes. They're asking about anything. I always have it. And I pull over and I'll send it to them. I'm still doing the admin work when I'm supposed to be knocking on the doors. And that's okay. Because, of course, as a manager, you're making, a kickback from your team. But it's not okay, because I really need to be doing the majority of that at home so that we're both benefiting, because my husband has a team and I have a team. So I'm doing it all day for my team and neglecting his side, which is still ultimately my side. So it's just amazing. It is amazing. In this business, I have grown so much mentally as far as my beliefs, how I think, the books that I read. Every single day I wake up and listen to motivational clips, because your past will always try to haunt you. It will always try to haunt you. Things will always come up to try to remind you of where you came from, try to make you believe that you don't deserve what you're receiving. And those things, that's poison. I believe it's just the enemy trying to keep you down. And period. I mean, it's just the enemy. That's why I believe in vision boards, keeping what, your goals, your visions, your dreams in front of you at all times. And I remember the one year that I did not do the vision board, I actually ended the year with like 12,000 less than the year before, because I didn't have any goals set. I was just running. I was enjoying being a manager with no direction, with no vision. And I received that 1099. I said, how in the world did I go down in income? but it was because I wasn't focused. So the very next year, of course, I got back into my vision board, put everything back up, and I was able to bump back up an additional 20,000 back on track. So with that, I want to end with stating, with both of us being in the business, it was a very important for us to get on the same page with running. I love the contest. Before he came into the business, I was the one winning the contest. I was the one hitting the road and running. I was the one breakdancing to get the extra $700. Like, I love that part of the business. You know, you give me a contest, I'm taking your money. When he came into the business, he was the one running for the contest. He would be the first one, like, okay, I'm in the contest. And I'm like, oh, my God, I wanted to do that contest, right? But, again, I did my time. He was the one that's supposed to have been here first. So it's like, okay, Chris, focus. He is the one. I'll tell it all day. He is the one that reminds me of trying to stay grounded and having that our focus, because I'll run. I can work all day and all night. I have been guilty of being on the computer until 11 o'clock at night and starting at 7 in the morning. And sure, I'm getting a lot done. And now we see the benefits of that today. But back then it was, okay, you got to balance. You know, we still have the kids. You still need to cook dinner and all these other things. So having that balance and making sure that communication as to who's picking up the kids today, who's going to be the one responsible for dinner today, who's hitting the road. So we have been doing this for a solid year, which is awesome. In the beginning, it was a challenge because my husband just works. I need it down on paper. I'm like, this is what I need in order for there to be peace, you know, so we have that down. I know exactly when he's going to be out of town. Of course, we don't know where he's going to go, you know, but you can schedule a month to 3 months out. We have kids. They have appointments. Most of the time with the schools, we get a monthly calendar. That calendar comes in. We put in what has to be done with the kids, and then we work around that schedule. And we try as much as possible to stick to that schedule. Sure, things come up, and you have to rearrange it, but that's where that communication comes in. And that's what keeps us from killing each other in this business. So I'm done with my part because I know you have the breakdown that you wanted, the example that you wanted
yes,
to do.
So. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And guys, I love listening to my wife talk and teach. If you aren't familiar with her YouTube channel, you could just go to YouTube, type up Christine Ill, and it's Christine Austin.
Christine Austin Ill.
Okay. Christine Austin Ill or Boss's Life Now is the name of the channel. Do yourself a favor and just grow over there whenever you get some time and familiarize yourself with her channel. Whether you hit like or subscribe, if you do, that's great, but it's not about that. It's funny because she started, she's very creative, and one of the things that I love about her is that creativity. And she just got tired of repeating herself to new agents. You know, this is what you do whenever you get your appointment with Lincoln, and okay, now you need to print this out, blah, blah, blah. So she decided that she would just make some YouTube videos, and anytime she got an agent, she would just send them that YouTube videos, and she thought that those videos were private. And we were somewhere, I don't remember where it was in Kona, that's right. And somebody came to her from you guys' organization, if I'm not mistaken, and was like, man, your videos are so helpful. And me and her, you know, we just played like, oh, I'm glad it it helped you. But as soon as they left, we looked at each other and was like, how did they see that video? You know, I didn't know that it was public. We thought it was private. And so the intent was just to help people. It was not about getting this huge channel, all these likes and subscribes. None of that's important. But the bottom line is get the information. All right, so thank you, baby. And we got a couple minutes left, and I promised you I wanted to give something to you that would help you. But real quick, I want to just give you just a little bit of piece of me again, and like the qualifying part that I mentioned a minute ago. So, and what you'll hear is that she and I had two completely different viewpoints coming into this business. Her view was, okay, I'm tired of hearing you telling me about how good this is. Yeah, I had a dream. Okay, I'll give it a shot. And she came in that way. She wasn't serious. She didn't do what she was supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. She was not plugged in. She wasn't listening to the conference calls. Well, there were to a degree. She said we didn't have conference calls. There were to a degree, but not like we have now. But the bottom line is she was not a committed agent. And I'm going to come back to that, or the piece that I'm going to leave with you ties into this perfectly. I also mentioned before she got on that I was delayed. Well, I was delayed because of some wrong decisions that I had made years ago prior to everything that I've mentioned so far other than the Kirby. But there were some legal issues that I had. And so I had to prove this to the state and show the state this and show the state that when it came time for the background check for me to come in and get my license approved. That process is what took 3 years, guys. So what I'm hoping that you hear from that, and just in case you missed it, for 3 years, I was banging on the doors of Lincoln Heritage to let me in. I was banging on the doors of the state of Pennsylvania to give me my license so I could come on board with Lincoln Heritage. 3 years, not 3 months or days, 3 years. I took and passed the test 2 times. I took and passed the class 2 times. Why 3 years? Why all these times? Why? Is because of what I saw. Okay, so one of the things that I did not mention when I mentioned Mr. Miles is that he was one of my landscaping clients. And I was fortunate to be at his house every Monday doing his yard, and I would see one day he had us put in 3 dump trucks, 3 tri-axle dump trucks full of mulch. And just to give you, like, I'm talking those Big Mac trucks, not a pickup. 3 dump trucks full of mulch. It took us probably 4 hours to do it with a crew of about 3 or 4 people. The pay that we got for that had a comma in it. It wasn't a cheap job at all. Not only did we put mulch down, we moved some trees, put some trees in. Pretty big deal, right? The very next Monday, we came back to only see that half of it had been ripped up because Troy decided he wanted to put a pool in some of one of the areas that we worked so hard to design and get this mulch together and whatnot for him. But week after week, I just saw his lifestyle, the cars, the different things that this business affords. And I wanted in bad. So when I came in, when the state finally said, okay, thank you for providing us everything, we feel confident with you getting a license, here's your license, I hit the ground running. So Chrissy, in her first year, she did 40-something thousand. Not to rehash that, my first year I came in, I got my ring. What was the difference? We have the same policies. We have the same shirts. We have access to the same leads. There was 2 completely different work ethics, 2 completely different mindsets. And so that's what I want to leave you guys with today. And now is where I need you to do some work, all right? If any of you, all of you, can grab a pen and a piece of paper, I think you'll be glad that you did. And I'll give you a second to do that. What I want to share with you is a picture that I want you to constantly have in front of you as you work throughout your day, as you think of going home early, as you think of not getting out of your house when you're supposed to get out of your house. I want you to look at this picture. I want you to see me in Chile, and I want you to show me this picture. I want you to put today's date on it, and I want you to bring this picture to Chile. Chile, Chow, Chile, we'll figure out how to say it when we get there. We say that every day, right? But I want you to take this down, all right? So if you guys can do yourself a favor, and I want you on a sheet of paper to make 7 columns. And I just learned last week what the heck a column was. So that's the long rows that go down the paper, right? Think of a column of a house, right? It goes from the top to the bottom. So I want you to, what we're going to do is we're going to make a calendar, all right? So do 7 columns. So you'll do 1, and you'll write Monday there. Tuesday at the next one, Wednesday all the way to Sunday. All right? Go ahead and do 7 columns. Put the days across those columns at the top. Now what I want you to do is draw 4 rows across those columns going down. So this will be the days of the month, or the weeks, I'm sorry, of the month, which will also form the days. But that will represent the 4 weeks in the month. What I'm showing you guys is something that, if you're new, will be something that will have you in a place where you are never worried about where your next sale is going to come from. You will never worry about whether you can pay your bills or not. I think I got your attention now. You will never have a lack of money in this business. The reason, I don't know if you caught it in the beginning, but my team is called the NBA Group. Once again, it stands for Never Broke Again. If you operate what I'm about to show you, you will never be broke again. I don't care if you have never done over 10,000 and you're not in this amazing 10 team. I don't care if you've never sold one app. This is a blueprint that I'm about to give you that will set you up for success moving forward. Just trust me and write. So you have 7 columns, 4 rows. Amen? All right. So what I want to show you guys is a picture of 2 agents. You have to choose wisely. Somebody told me that this is a powerful quote that I got this week. It says, you were born looking like your daddy, but you will die looking like your decisions. I'm going to repeat that. You were born looking like your daddy, but you're going to die looking like your decisions. Every day you have an option, several of them, right? And what I'm trying to show you through this illustration is, at the end of the day, I get calls from people, my upline, I can't stand them. How can I get over to your team? You don't need to be on my team. You need to check yourself, because your manager has nothing to do with your success or failure. All their job is to help you into this business, and whatever else that they offer you and give you, that's just icing on the cake. It's your responsibility to make sure that your bills are paid. It's your responsibility to make sure that you're on these calls getting what you need to get. It's also your responsibility to implement this stuff at a rapid pace or not. So if you're having the results that you're happy with, man, keep on doing what you're doing. And you could probably do more of it. I know I can, right? And if you're not, please tune in. Here we are with these 7 columns, 4 rows. So we have 2 agents. We're just going to name them Bill and Jill, okay? So in week 1, I want you to write Bill's name at the top, write Jill's name at the bottom of week 1, okay? So on Monday, we're gonna put X's to represent their presentations, okay? So on Monday, Bill listens to the conference call that you guys probably have in the morning, or the Breakfast Club if you guys are a part of that, which I'm sure a lot of you are, right? Bill gets motivated. So does Jill. I'm ready to go, Tier. This is going to be my week. So Bill goes out and he does 2 presentations. Put 2 X's for Monday for Bill. Jill, she's motivated also. Her the same phone call. She does 3 presentations on Monday. By the way, let me pause for 1 second. If you don't know, there's a national average for sales ratio. It's 1 out of 5. What that means is, out of a large group of presentations, not 5, doesn't mean you're going to sell 1 just because you did 5. But if you have 50 presentations in a month, a week, or what have you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have somewhere around 10 sales out of that. That's the national average. There's people who are better than the average. There's people who are worse. And let me give you another quote that was given to me that I thought was very powerful. All average means, and D, if I'm going over and it's a problem, man, just hang up on me, and I'll understand. My feelings won't be hurt. I'm trying to wrap. No problem. Yes, God bless you, man. Thank you. I'm trying to wrap this up for you. But the definition of average that was given to me that stuck with me so powerfully is that average. Okay, here it goes. Average means that you're the best of the worst people, or you're the worst of the best people. That should offend anybody who somebody says that you're average. Or if I say, okay, here's the national average, it's 1 out of 5. Your ego hopefully is saying, I ain't average, because that was my ego. And I wanted to find out what these above average agents were doing. And I needed to get it quick so I could implement it quick so that I would be 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 1 point something, which is where I am now, thanks to God, right? And these amazing agents in this company. So here we are with Bill and Jill and these averages. So one of them, they're both dealing with the national average. One of them is frustrated. One of them is losing support that they had at one point from their spouse and from their loved ones, their parents or whatever it is. One of them is losing support. One of them is struggling to pay the bills, and one of them is balling. One of them doesn't even know that they're in a 1 out of 5 slump because they're consistently working, they're consistently getting results. Guys, the name of the game is activity. Once I learned in sales that it wasn't, I needed to not worry about sales. I needed to not worry about how much I was going to make per week. Once I realized that as long as I was super duper active, everything else takes care of itself, the stress goes away. It goes completely away. So now I just realized I need to shine my flashlight on how active I am every day. So forgive me. So we're back to Monday. Bill does 2, Jill does 3. Tuesday, Bill said, man, you know what? I went out. I tried to work, and I'm tired. I was out. I didn't get home last night till 10 o'clock, man. I'm tired. He listened to the call and decided tomorrow I'm going to go get him. So on Tuesday, Bill does nothing, right? Nothing there for Bill. Jill, she does 2 presentations. She's with that national average. So combined between Monday and Tuesday, she's got 5 appointments done. Circle one of those X's for her on Tuesday. She got herself a nap. All right. So I'm just going to fast forward through the week, all right, for the sake of time. So Thursday, Bill goes out. Give Bill an X and a circle. Bill said, you know what? I'm going to go get him today. He went out and got himself a policy. However, he made a good bit of money on that policy. He probably made more money than he's ever made in a week, maybe in a couple of hours, maybe a couple of minutes, right? And so he decided that he was cool and he was going to take the rest of the day off, and that's exactly what he did. Jill, on Thursday, she said, you know what, I'm going to do 2 appointments. I got to stop and do some things with my son, stuff that she had already had planned. However, she did her second of 5 presentations on Thursday, if you guys have this right. So give her a circle on one of those 2 X's on Thursday. Friday, they both do 2 presentations. Neither of them get anything. So give both of them 2 X's. Neither of them get a circle. All right? And on Saturday, y'all know good and daggone well Bill was out hanging on Friday night. He got a hangover come Saturday. He ain't going nowhere. He's in the house. He's like, man, next week I'm going to start off fresh on Monday. They got that Breakfast Club thing they got going on. Next week's going to be my week. I'm going to get them next week. Jill, she realizes that Saturday is an awesome day to catch a lot of the people home that she hasn't got throughout the week because most people aren't working on the weekend, right? She goes out and does 3 presentations, which completes her 3rd set of 5 presentations. She gets another X. So give her 3 X a circle. So give her 3 X's and a circle around one of those X's. Guys, I'm going to stop right there and fast forward through this whole thing. So let's assume that the following week, they don't get any better. The results are the same. So that following week, Bill ends up with 1 policy. Jill ends up with 3. The 3rd week, because nothing you do with repetition do you get worse. You're going to improve. Even Bill, right? He just happening to improve at a slower rate than her because his rate of approach is behind hers, right? So let's say that following week, they keep the numbers, but they've improved. So twice as good. So now Bill does 2 policies. Jill does 6. She's getting an app a day. Somebody told her that an app a day keeps the bill collectors away, and she believed it. So she started paying attention to her presentation. She started recording her presentation and sending them to her upline for critique. and other superstars in the business. Oh, man, I said that? Oh, okay, I didn't even see it. And then she goes out and she tries again, and she corrects it, and she fixes the mistake. I had too many people last week tell me they need to think about it. What do you do? And she got feedback. She implemented it. She got 6 apps. So the 4th week, they go out and they do the exact same thing. Bill gets another 2. Jill gets another 6. Okay, so now let's put some numbers to these 2 people's approaches. And this was Christine and myself. In 1 month, we're just going to say that they've averaged $60 for those applications apiece, right? And let's just assume that they're taking on that. Let's go with the 50% equation to that payout. All right. So if you're not familiar how pay's calculated, I don't want to get into that on for the purpose of this call, but I went with 50%. So I'm considering leads, chargebacks, modified, final expense, all of it, direct express, things that we might not get advanced on. I'm considering a good bit of all of that, right? And we're not even going into the $100+ premiums, just $60. So just on $60, the math on that, Bill in his first month, he got 6 applications. He pocketed somewhere around $1,620. That's only $19,000 for the year. This dude might not even be there to the end of the year. Amen? That's McDonald's money. None of us on this call got in here for McDonald's money. He's better off at McDonald's probably. Jill, on the other hand, she's on her way. She's Chili qualified. She will make every single trip that this company puts out just working that way. Not even getting to the status of greatness. This is just national average here, right? But she's working the numbers. She's stacking the deck in her favor. She understands. She's managing her distractions. She's not making excuses. She's not taking undeserved time off. So 18 applications for her, that's going to equate to $4,860. That's $58,320 at the end of the year. No, that's not a ring. But I think we all can agree if that was her first month or the first month that she decided to start getting serious, we can pretty much all agree that by the 3rd month of that type of approach, she ain't going to have 16 or 18 apps at the end of the month. She's going to have 20 plus. She's going to work her way towards 30 plus. She's going to work her way towards 50 plus. She might find herself amongst the top 10 in the company. Guys, all I'm saying is, don't be Bill, be Jill. And I understood that from the door. I haven't always been my best at being Jill. I got things that distract me and sidetrack me as well. Matter of fact, I'm coming off. I'm having a good month this month. I'll be over 20,000, which is pretty much something that I could do in my sleep. But the last 2 months, we've had a lot of things going on. My dad was here. My son was in an almost fatal accident a year ago now in a couple of months, and he lives in Atlanta, was in Pittsburgh, and we had some things going on with him. He was in town visiting. Just a lot. Life happens, right? But all it takes, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you know the blueprint, when it's time to start implementing it, like it was for me at the beginning of this month, it's just back to being Jill. I take my problem coat, I hang it up in the closet. It'll be waiting on me when I get done. But because I'm being Jill, I can pay off most of those problems that's in that closet with no problem. Most of the problems that we deal with are financial. So if we're out operating like Jill, man, it's easy to throw darts at all of those problems and just watch them all blow up. But if you're being Bill, that closet is just going to start piling up with more problems and more problems and more problems and more problems. Guys, that is my time. I hope to God that you was paying attention, because this is the only advice that you will ever need. The calls that we have, the trainings that we have, listen, if you haven't figured it out by now, all it is repetition. All it is somebody giving you their perspective on what somebody else said already, what somebody else did already. Soon as your light bulb goes off and you say, man, it's just a matter of me implementing this like Jill and not being a bum like Bill. welcome. I will say welcome to something where you will never be broke again. God bless you guys all. Dion, man, I'm shutting it down, and I'll be more than happy, excuse me, if you guys will entertain us. We will be glad to answer any questions that you guys will have, man. And sorry for going over, but I think we might have been speaking to some people today, my friend.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, my God. Man, listen. Questions. Anybody got any questions? So we got the best in the building, and they're telling you stuff about what? So listen up. We got questions. Let's ask you questions. I want to say thank you, brother. I want to say thank you, sister. Do anybody on our team got any questions? I know I got a question. Anybody got any questions? Because if you got any questions, star 6, ask your question.
Mr. D, can you hear me, Mr. D?
I can hear you better than I can hear myself, DJ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanna thank the powerful couple for coming on and, man, and blessing us with their presence, man. I really don't have a question. I'm sitting in front of a client house right now. They got me so fired up, man. I'm just ready to go in here and just serve the client, man. And I just really want to thank them for coming on board with us, and I just pray that God continue to increase them.
Man, God bless you too, man. Go write that app, and if they don't buy it, you slap them as hard as you can in the head with that rate book, bro.
Yes, sir, Mr. Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Somebody needs to mute their phone. We got a background coming in. Yes, sir. Any more questions? Please come on with the question. That's my man D, and he's part of the young guns we was talking about, Brother Raheem.
Oh, man, I would love to spend some time on another day talking to that group, man. I would love to talk to you guys. I'm excited to hear about that group.
Mr. Brother Dion, can you hear me?
I can hear you better than I can hear myself. We just got some feedback. I don't know where it's coming from. Can everybody please mute their phone? I believe I only got Kevin on the phone talking. Can you please mute your phone? I'm getting some background.
Yeah, this is Brother Kev Tyler, man. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm in the car.
Loud and clear.
But listen, I just want to say thank you guys for your time and your wisdom. I am a big fan of you guys, you know, unbeknownst to yourself, of course. I've been following your wife in particular, and, of course, heard your stories on occasion on YouTube from the time I got started in this business. And awesome. And trust me, the commitment makes a difference. So very familiar with you guys' story and the work you put in. And by the way, if you guys, you probably know the name Doobie. If you say Kevin Tyler said hi, just say hi to Doobie for me. He'll know exactly what you're talking about.
That's a promise, man. As a matter of fact, I'll be speaking to him after this call. I would definitely do that. Yes. That's a great brother.
That's a great brother. And I just wanted to say that. And one last question I do have. For a lot of guys that have been in the business for years, you know, I've been in now for about a month, a year and 2 months now. And so I'm kind of a babe in the woods compared to you guys, of course. But I'm also intrigued by people who've been around the block for a while, your way that you manage the persistency side of the game. Because we say it's important, but we hear we got a heavy tilt toward production, but not as much on persistency. So we hear talked about it, but tell us a little bit about how you guys manage that in reality.
Let me go ahead. Okay, so thank you so much for speaking up. Thank you for watching the videos. I appreciate the feedback. As far as the persistency, the way that I did it when I was running in the field and running the reports, anytime you get a service report, all right, you want to print that baby out and you want to go straight to that house and door knock them. A lot of times we do have letters. We have letters that we send out that are approved by Lincoln Heritage. that we do send out from time to time whenever we are dealing with an individual that has fallen off the books that are in a different area. Like I was running 3 different states when I ran the field, and it's not that easy to just run back down Indiana, the state of Indiana, that's 7.5 hours away. So we do, one, you could send letters out to them, but the best way to do it is just show back up at that house. We always keep track of the day, the date, and the time that we sell a client, so we write that on our lead. And then we use what's called BIGVUE, which is an app on the Apple devices. And on there, we put our whole route on that BIGVUE, but then you could put notes. And so in there, we would know, okay, I sold this person on a Monday at 3 p.m. So most likely there's going to be around 3 in the afternoon that they're going to be home. You want to try to hit them on the times that you sold them because you're going to have a better chance of catching them. And honestly, whenever I would knock on their door and they'd answer, I would say, oh, my God, I am so glad that everything is okay. I thought you may have been in a hospital. Did you realize that you missed a payment? And, of course, they know they missed their payment, right? But you don't want to come off as a collector, like a collection agency. I can't even talk today, excuse me. You don't want to come off as though you're going to be a burden to them. You want to let them know that you can help them. And a lot of the clients, even though we tell them when we sit down with them that if they have any financial problems, that we can reduce their policies, they forget. So that's one main thing. As soon as you get that report, work it. We get service reports every day. Lincoln Heritage is really good with providing us with the information on all of our clients all the time. If, in fact, you miss the service report or you don't work your service report, Lincoln follows up with the NTO and lapse report at the end of the month. But every week we get a weekly service report, a daily service report, so they're always letting us know. But at the end of the month, we get an NTO and lapse report. Now, what I did a couple years back was I created a lead template. And so I call into Lincoln Heritage and I ask them to send me an Excel spreadsheet format of the NTO and lapse for the whole agency for myself and my husband. And then I pushed that Excel spreadsheet into a Word lead document. So then when I print it out, it's just the same size as our leads. And we will put those in our route. So that way, whenever we're going to the door, of course, the lead template at the top, it says NTO lapse. So we know that it was an NTO lapse. In that template, it states, when they signed up, when it terminated, what the code is. And I have, of course, all the codes. If it was that they called and canceled, if it was that they missed the payment, their description. So it just shows all of that information. And it just makes it easy for you to be able to run that route. So you just put that lead right in, again, it's an NTO, but we call it another lead, in with your lead, and you're running that route just like you would do anything else. You always want to make sure that you're keeping your packets in the car, in the trunk. So I have a little bin, and I have packets for reinstate, redate, the PAC form. So I have those stapled. And I have several packets that I keep in the car at all times. You just want to have that, preparation, just having those forms. So when you knock on the door, if they need to redate or reinstate or reduce, all of those forms are just in one place that you can just grab that little packet and take care of everything at that time. And I always get their banking information over just in case they change banks and forgot about it. I just make sure that I have that in order. But you just want to jump on that as soon as possible. A lot of people don't know that they can reduce. And for you as an agent, even if you wrote a policy that was $120 and say it even charged back, and this is 7 months down the road, you want to call Lincoln, want to make sure that you are able to redate that client first before you go out and try to redate them. You want to make sure that they are redate eligible. And then, again, you can reduce that policy. Even if you're reducing them down to $15 a month, Lincoln Heritage is going to reverse that full chargeback because you retained the business. You kept that business on the books. And, of course, that client will still have coverage. And your persistency jumps back up.
And the only thing I'll add to that is that you have no idea. Hit me, baby. You have no idea how easy it is to retain a lot of the business that falls off. You know, you call people. I had a lady, she was like, oh my God, I lost your card. So she would have probably ended up being another lead for another agent. And that agent who went back, she might not have told, well, you know what, I've been trying to get a hold of my old agent. Can you tell him to give me a call? She might just keep her mouth shut, and here somebody walks in thinking that they have a lay down, and that was your business. Okay, Chrissy says she got one more thing, but a lot of them are very easy to get back on the books without going so far into this. But
again, I'm sorry, just one last thing as to why it is better to door knock them if you can. Whenever a client falls off the books, Lincoln Heritage, of course, they're going to be sending the letters out to that client. When Lincoln sends the letters, if it's 2, 3, 4 months down the road, they are telling them the total amount that client needs to pay to be reinstated. We can redate, which means that we only need to collect one premium. But if that client is remembering that letter said that they have to pay $1,100, they're not even going to answer our call. They're going to go and try to get insurance somewhere else. So that's why it's important to say, oh, no, you know what? The benefit of having an underwriter is that I'm able to redate. I can collect one payment. I can forgive your last 4 or 5 months and get you right back on track with the same rate as when you started your policy, and all the money you paid in stays with the same policy. That's the blessing. But we can only do that one time of the life of the policy. All right? So that is like major. But you want to jump on those as soon as possible. Great question. Thank you.
Any other questions? Do we lose you, brother?
Well, we know how I feel. Come on with them questions. Come on with them questions. See, that's why we call this being a power couple. They both got to answer to your solution. Oh, man.
Deanna, can you hear me?
I can hear you better than I can hear myself.
This is Deanna out of Richmond, Virginia. And I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you both to the speakers today. And that Christine, I started following her back in September on YouTube. And she's one of the main reasons why I decided to join Lincoln Heritage, seeing her as a female, doing the business, giving us feedback and tips and education and her experiences. And it's just made a big difference for me. So along with all of the other leadership, pouring and feeding into us as to what they've given us, I always turn to her YouTube channel to hear from her as well. So I just wanted to say thank you to the both of them.
Oh, thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And as a matter of fact, to be honest, I believe every month since she came in, if I'm not mistaken, she's been over 20,000.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
Listen, I say it all the time.
But I'm doing well, and I'm always working and striving for consistency and keeping my numbers up, and so that's really important to me.
Good job.
Awesome.
We always say that the seniors will open the door for a woman before they open it for a man. So the only excuses we have are the ones we create for ourselves. Good job.
True. Thank you.
On another note, I know that she also won a car from UBI based on her performance and how she deals with her business.
What? Been in the business for how long?
Dion, I think you have me mixed up with Crystal Fichette, who is doing awesome. Oh. She's out of Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. I'm Deanne out of Richmond, Virginia. So I'm on my way to earning a car, though.
Hey, nice.
We could be talking about my team. We could be talking about my teammate, Christina Stanfield from Virginia.
That's awesome.
Giving out. That's right.
Give her a high five from me. Seriously, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, anybody else have any questions, any comments, any questions, any comments?
I sure do. Can you hear me okay?
name and where you calling from. I hear you better than him.
All right, right. This is James Wheeling calling from New Jersey. Christine, Raheem, it's great to have you on the call. Fantastic stuff. I appreciate all the nuggets that you've dropped on us, and I will implement them immediately. I do have a question, kind of piggybacking off what Christine was saying about the leads and such. So you guys do not use a CRM of any kind. You kind of use just MapView and then the Excel spreadsheet?
We are not using a CRM at all. We use, we order leads directly through Lincoln Heritage, so we're using their lead program. As far as the CRM, the closest thing that we recently are using is the Sales Rabbit, which allows us to be able to, kind of circle an area of homes, and it will actually populate the census, like the census report for each house, so creating a lead for us, and we can download that into an Excel spreadsheet. But we really, that's not even a month in the works. We just started doing that.
Gotcha.
So
all right, that's all I got.
From Lincoln. Yeah, we're using the leads from Lincoln, and in every home, we train agents to ask for referrals. We have an emergency contact sheet, and with that emergency contact sheet, you're asking them for, the three main people that in the event that, they miss a payment or we're not able to get in contact with them or anything happens, who can we contact? And then we let them know that we are going to be contacting them ahead of time to go over, introduce ourselves, and let them know how the program works. And obviously, if they need the coverage as well, then we're going to help them as well. So we get referrals.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, very good. And when you guys are doing cold door knocking, are you doing it from a survey perspective, or just I know you said neighborhood enrollment?
Yes. Well, some agents, everybody's a little bit different. Some agents feel more comfortable doing it as a survey. Myself, whenever I'm door knocking, I use the flyer. I just knock on the door, and I'm like, hey, I'm really excited anyway. And I'm glad that they're home. I'm like, listen, my name's Christine, and I'm here, and I'm pointing right at the flyer. And I say, has anybody had a chance to go over this cash insurance benefit or family support services that are available in this area? And they are going to recognize the flyer or not. And if they say, oh, well, no, everybody wants to know what this cash is. So I don't come to a door asking, do you have life insurance? Because everybody has some form of life insurance. Then I have to deal with that. So I strictly talk cash. I'm the cash lady.
Got it. Golden. Thank y'all. I'll get off the line and mute myself.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I thank y'all so much, and I think he said I'm a cash lady. He said I'm a cash lady. The cash lady. I like that. Listen, any more questions? I know I don't want to hold you two up because I know y'all got to deal with your family and have a beautiful day. But can we still ask any questions, or y'all ready to shut it down?
I'll go till 3:34 a.m. man. Let's go. Glad to be here. Glad to help.
Well, he can go until 5 o'clock. He has a 6 o'clock appointment today. But this is great. We have time for you guys for sure. This is just wonderful.
Anybody have any questions? Because they still have time. Anybody got any questions? Well, let me say something before anybody else says something. First, I want to send out my condolence to the loss of your sister. From the bottom of my heart, I want to send out condolence. Also, Brother Ra, keep your son lifted in prayers from the accident, things of that nature. And I really appreciate, you two coming through and sharing the knowledge that you shared. And I'm also, I drew my picture, so I will show it to you at Chile, like you suggested. I noticed the situation as far as the way you two correspond with each other, which I think is important. And I like the way, because then you came out and you stated stuff that, some people or some women or some men don't want to say. Like you said, hey, I don't like saying relationship and boss in the same tone, because when you first came on, you said, hey, we in a relationship, and yet you're my boss. I don't really feel that. And some people don't want to come out and admit that, which you did, and you solved that situation. I think that was positive. That was a boss move in itself to me. I like the fact that y'all talking about real numbers. And when I say real numbers, y'all talking about numbers that's attainable, because, of course we know in this business there's millions and millions and millions and billions of dollars in here, but let's get to reality where the person walk away with 40,000, 50,000, 58, 60,000, 70,000. Those are good numbers because a lot of people out here don't do those kind of numbers. And the average insurance agent is making about 45,000 anyway, or 40,000. So that's across the board. So y'all talking about some real numbers. So I like that, and I also like that y'all have a system. Like they got the thing that says, men are from Mars and women from Venus, or however that goes. So you said the merciful, he's a worker, and you like to have things written down, and so I guess he implemented your techniques by having us draw this picture because he put the work in, but he said let's draw this picture so you could see it, and so I could definitely respect that, your gangster, and I can also respect the perseverance when you said it took 3 years, because I know I have a family member who's been trying to get involved with Lincoln. He has some things he's going through with his background, and I keep telling him, keep pushing. Hopefully he's on his phone, but I keep telling him to push and push and push and push and push, because some people are under the impression that if they made a mistake, because life is about making mistakes and then resolving them. Some people are under the projection that they make a mistake that it's over. It's a wrap. It's only over and it's a wrap when you're no longer here. But if you're here, you can still do better today than you did yesterday. And so I really appreciate that, and so that's the comments I had. As far as questions I had from y'all, man, I just, my only question is like, man, I don't really have no questions, but I did get something came in from Cynthia, and she just said, oh, my God, that's a magnificent call. She hit me up, Brother Brad. He just hit me, and a couple of people have been texting me, but my phone, if I respond to a text, for some odd reason, I'll hang up on my call. So I haven't responded to nobody. I don't know what's going on with that, but so I haven't responded to nobody texts. I just looked at it like, okay. But, so they did hit me with that. So you got people that's listening. They might be in a church function. They might be in another function where they can't really speak right now. But they did, hit me up and was like, oh, my God, this phone is off the chain. And this is the longest call we ever had, and we still got a house in here that's listening to these calls. And, and I'm going to keep it real. If everybody dropped off and it was just us three, I was good with that because, I'm on some knowledge. I like to get all the knowledge, and I'll write it down and then I'll regurgitate it. So we good with that. But I'm going to ask anybody else, does anybody have any questions? And I pulled over inside of D.C. I refused to drive because I wanted to hear everything that was stating. So I still got a 4-hour job, but I don't care because I'm in here trying to get this information, and I really appreciate the both of y'all sharing this information. And so anybody have any questions or any concerns, or Rod, Christine, Christine, help, do y'all want to say anything? Feel free to say anything. Anybody got any questions or comments? Please push *6 if you have any questions or comments. Well, let me tell you how our rules go around here. If you haven't heard, this is how it goes. I'm going to count down to 10. Once I count down to 10, we are out of here. But like I said, my friends, we're going to definitely keep in touch. So I'm about to count this down. I'm going to ask anybody who got any questions. Do you have any questions? 1. Do you have any questions? 2. Do you have any questions? 3. Do you have any questions? 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Everybody have a blessed day. And brother Brian, or Sister Christine, thank you very much for your time. And if you ever need me for anything, just hit me up and I'm on it, doggone it.
Yes, absolutely. Sir. Thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. Good evening.
Thank you, man.